Hey guys. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. It really helps out my algorithms out here on YouTube. And not only that, if you don't subscribe and you leave this video, it's gonna be really hard to find me again. But if you subscribe, you'll have access to all my videos all the time. And if you end up not liking my content, you can always unsubscribe later. So I'm going to show you some different techniques on how I apply cream products and how I make it not look cakey and last all day long. So yeah, stick around and we will get into it. Alright, so let's get started with the primer. So this is the Tarte Base Tape. It's a hydrating primer. I just like to apply that right onto like my forehead and anywhere that I tend to get a little bit drier. My forehead is somewhere that, I'm going to put my hair back, that tends to get drier, as well as like my cheeks, they get drier too. When you're using all cream products, it's nice because if your skin isn't fully hydrated and you do have dry spots, it's going to work a lot better. If you have oily skin, cream products can be a little bit trickier, but I don't have oily skin. So if you do have oily skin, I would suggest maybe watching, who is it that has oily skin? I'll try to remember who it is that I watch that has oily skin and uses cream products, and I'll put their channel down below for you to go check out. So now that my face is primed, I usually let that sit in for a few minutes and then we'll come back and do the foundation next. Okay, I totally lied. We're not doing foundation next. We're going to go in with a concealer and cover up any of the redness that I have. This is the Revlon ColorStay. I found that I really like this one for covering up before foundation. I don't know why, but it's a good consistency to cover up redness. And it doesn't come off when, that's my biggest problem with concealer that you put on if you have blemishes, is that once you go in with your foundation, I feel like it takes it off. So you rub your foundation in and it pulls up the concealer. Where I feel like this one just kind of, it really stays. Okay, now we'll go into foundation. So I've been doing my foundation because of quarantine and just not being able to go get my normal spray tans. I've been doing my self tans at home, so it's just not the exact same color. So I've been having to make a little concoction for my foundation, and I found that the Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid mixed with the Beyond Matte Jane Irridale, and then I go in with a little bit of the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and I mix those all together. So I have this cute little dish here that I will go ahead and mix those in, and then we'll apply it to my face. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little bit extra glowy, I will add in this Revolution Euphoric Gold highlighter, and it's a liquid highlighter. So I'll just put a drop of that in. I'm going to do it today. So let's put a couple squirts of that into there and mix that up with the foundation. Okay, I know this is all super basic as far as it's not really cream related or liquid related. I mean, it kind of is because I'm using liquid products, but it's pretty basic. It's something that you already know, but we will get into the kind of more difficult stuff like the a blush, which can be a little bit harder to apply, and the cream contour. We'll get into that after these kind of basic steps. Okay, so the brows are done. I went ahead and skipped that part recording because I do it in every video and it just takes forever and I have to get the mirror really close. Go ahead and like this video if you want me to do a full in-depth how I do my eyebrows, because I wish more than anything over the past few years I would have had somebody who had similar eyebrows as to me, which are they are not even related at this point. Tap back a couple 30 seconds and go check out what they were before. They're bad. So I kind of perfected it for what works for me. So yeah, let me know by liking this video if you want to see that. We're gonna go ahead and go in with the concealer. I feel like we're kind of just doing an everyday look, not even a cream look, but it is what it is. So with concealer, there's 3 different ways that you can apply it. There's probably more, but there's 3 methods that I found. If you want a more sheer coverage, go ahead and use a damp beauty sponge. This one's filthy, but that's alright. if you want like a semi-sheer cover, like just like a medium coverage, a brush like this that's kind of a domed shape and a little bit thicker and dense is gonna work well for that. And then if you want a fuller coverage concealer, I found that if you use like this doe foot applicator, it works really well for giving you a nice full coverage under your eyes and just anywhere you're placing concealer. Today I am going to use a sponge because when I do a full cream look, I typically like to have kind of a lighter coverage and just kind of a more like casual, like easy look. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll blend that in, and then after I get this first layer blended in, I'm gonna take a lighter shade and apply it just on to my cheekbones because I want that area to pop out further and look more emphasized. I can't talk. It's fine, I'm just embracing it. Okay, now we're gonna go with that lighter shade. This is the Morphe C155. And like I said, we're just gonna apply that right on the tops of my cheekbones. And blend that in with the sponge as well. And again, we're gonna go back in with that same stippling brush and just go right over the top of it, picking up any extra product. And since we're not setting it with powder, this step is gonna be crucial to go in and make sure you're just kind of tapping over everything. Since we use that beauty sponge to apply it, that picked up a lot of the extra product, but this will just ensure that it doesn't get cakey and creasy. We're going to take that lightest concealer again, and I'm going to apply it just to the top of my forehead. For my forehead size, I like to stay a little bit lower, and I like to conceal down more because I've been told by my niece that I have a big forehead. So, not you, Keela. And then we'll drag that down to the bridge of my nose, top of my lip, and my chin. Okay, now we'll get into what you probably came here for, which is the cream contour. So I like to use this Smashbox stick, which is getting tiny. Like, I need a new one super bad. But another thing I like to use is a concealer that is darker than your skin tone. I honestly don't have any reason for why I picked this color. I just got it because it was darker than my skin tone. But yeah, just trial and error. So today we're going to use the pencil, and I like to just go ahead and draw the line directly on my face of where I want to contour, and then I will go in with another beauty sponge. This is the Morphe one. I really like it because it's pretty dense, so it works well for blending in a cream contour. So what I do is I just go ahead and just tap right over the top of it. Just lots of tapping motions. Don't drag it. When you drag it, that's when it's going to start to lift up and look like patchy and gross. Typically, if I'm going to use the concealer for contouring, I like to use this brush, which is the Morphe M530, and then I will just do light circular motions over it. Lately, I've been using the sponge and have been liking that, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with that. If I do use like a more liquidy contour, this brush works really well. Just don't press very hard. If you press hard, it's going to do that same lifting thing that I talked about with the sponge. Okay, and like I said, I want to bring my forehead down a little bit. So I have been doing my contour a lot lower. And actually it started when I followed that Trisha Paytas video, and she did it. And ever since then, I've kind of been doing that as well. So we go ahead and just load up the contour on my forehead. And I brought it down to my eyebrow on the side here. And then we'll go ahead and start blending, and make sure you push it up into your hairline. If you see that there's kind of some streaky lines there, just keep tapping. Just like trust the tap. Just keep going. Kind of like Nemo. Just keep going. Just keep going. And if you need to go back in with a little bit more, go ahead and do that and blend it out. I'd suggest kind of trying to get blended through all of this first before you add anything else onto it. But if you see that it didn't blend in a certain area, that could be beneficial to you. Like I always say, make sure you really press it up in your hairline, otherwise it's going to look like your face is disconnected from your hair, and that just doesn't look good. It looks very unnatural. And I like to take a step back from my mirror and look into it straight on, and just kind of see where I see any lines. Maybe go back over it with the bottom of my sponge, just where it's clean. So nose contour, I'm going to go ahead and use that same pencil stick, or keep wanting to say concealer, but contour. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply it onto my nose and put a line there. When I do my nose, I do like to use a brush. So this one, I just love this brush. It's the Royal and Langnickel Precision Angles brush. I honestly think I got it in an Ipsy bag, but it is perfect for a nose contour. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be. I'll see if I can find it, and if I can, I'll link it down below because it works so easy for a contour on your nose. And you kind of hear different things when it comes to nose contour, but I personally have found that pulling the shade down, like when you go like this and then you just kind of pull it down, makes it look more natural and less noticeable. And I like that look. I don't like people to look at me and say, like, know that I have a nose contour on. But everybody likes the way things look. Everybody likes the way things look differently. Everybody likes things different. Can't talk? Something you guys are gonna learn, just come to learn about me. That I don't have a way with words. Typing and like writing things out, I got it covered. But when it comes to speaking, not my forte. Okay, so for my chin contour, we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna kind of curve around. And we'll use the sponge again. Pulling that back. Okay, and then for contouring my jawline, I like to just go, I have a pretty bad double chin. Even if I'm like right now I have a little bit of weight gain from, you know, quarantining. I've gained about, I want to say like 8 pounds. So, but even if I'm at like a good weight, I still have a double chin. I'm gonna live with it. And then I'm gonna take that sponge and we're gonna just kind of press it, tap it over the top of where I put the contour, and then just kind of slightly pulling it back onto my neck. Did anybody else gain weight during this time? It sucks because I turned 29 in November, so this is my last year in my 20s, and I really wanted this year to be like the year that I just like really got healthy and like cared about myself and put myself first, especially with what I ate and how I treat my body. But I mean, and I was doing so good ever since November, and then March came around and all of a sudden it was like, who cares? So I'm kind of, as much as I'm enjoying this time at home, I'm kind of looking forward to having that structure again so that I'm eating normal and working out normal. So my gym actually opened back up. I'm a little bit worried about going, not because I'm scared about going, but just I'm scared about, like, when something's new I get nervous. So I just don't know how things are going to be there. It's going to be different than it was before. Alright, we're going to do the Stipple Magic again and just kind of run over everything that I just applied. Okay, so cream blush is another thing that maybe you came over here for. This is kind of a technique I've been doing the last like 2 weeks or so, and I really like it. So I have been mixing, this is the Senegence Blush Sense in the shade Terracotta. This is the Beautinique Beauty, never even heard of that brand, but it's a blush serum. And it's a really, really pretty, like, bright pink color. Oops, sharp blood. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to apply it right here on my palm. So pop that on there like that. And then we'll go ahead and I'm going to put the Terracotta Blush Sense right on top of that. And then blending it in with my finger on the back of my palm. This is just going to kind of warm up the creams. And I like the color of them mixed because it's a really pretty bright pink and a more muted kind of corally pink. So I just think the color of them mixed together is so pretty. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and just dip this brush right into the color on my palm and go ahead and apply it right above my contour. I kind of like to focus my blush up further towards my ear. I feel like if it gets too close onto like the apple part of your cheek, it can kind of look a little bit doll-like, which isn't really my vibes. I think that's really pretty, but just like I personally don't fully love that look. But sometimes I'll kind of, I say that and then I'm going to my apples, but I will use anything that's left over to apply to the apples, if that makes sense. I don't like want most of the color there, just a light flush. And one thing that I've always done, and I don't know why, is I will go ahead and I bring that color right up onto my forehead too, and a little bit onto my nose. I know it's super like e-girl right now to apply it to the top of your nose, but it is something that I've always done. I think it gives a more cohesive look to your makeup application, and just makes your whole like look well-rounded. So I'll just apply a little bit that's left on the brush right on my nose and on my forehead. So with a blush, especially a liquid or cream blush, it's a lot more powerful and you get a lot more like bang for your buck when you put it on. So I do one of two things depending on what I'm doing that day. It's going to be a really long day and I know that I'm going to want my makeup to last longer. I won't do anything else with it because it is super bright, but by the end of the day it's going to look natural. If I know that it's something that I have a shorter day, I will go ahead back in with that stippling brush and just tap over it and pick up any of that color just to kind of lighten it and diffuse it a bit. And if it's going to be a really short day and I know I'm just going to run to the grocery store or something and I don't want bright, super bright pink, I'll take my foundation brush that I used and just tap over it with my foundation brush, and that's just going to give it an even more natural flush look. So liquid highlighters are another thing that can be applied with many different tools. I personally like to apply it with my fingers. I think that it gives it a, so I'll go ahead, this is a, they're like, I got these three little like Becca duos. But if you apply it with your finger, it's going to make the highlight a lot more pigmented and bright. So I'll just go ahead and tap that in with my finger. You can also use a like a beauty sponge, a beauty sponge. So I'll just take this one. I'll kind of show you how you do that. I'm going to use the part that's clean there, and you can just tap right over the top of it. Just like with the concealer, this is going to give it a lighter finish. Another way, and actually I've never done it, I got a new brush the other day I showed you guys. Where is it? That Bretman Rock brush that I showed you in my kind of like rant vlog. Go back, I'll link that up here and you can go ahead and watch that. I've never used it yet, so let's go ahead and give that a shot and see. I honestly have no idea. This could be a total flop. It's picking up a lot of the color onto the brush, which I don't love. Yeah, I don't like that. It's a highlighting brush. I think this is meant for a powder though, because that didn't work. But now you don't have to try it. Okay, so for my eyes, I'm gonna go ahead and use Shadow Sense in the shade Champagne Shimmer. And to apply this, I like to just go ahead and sweep it right over my eye, and then tap it in with my finger as well. Another way you can do this is you can use a brush if you want a more pigmented look, kind of like how it's going on with my finger. Using a flat brush and just tapping over it. So like something like this you could use and just kind of tap right over the top of it. If you want a more blended out look, I would suggest using a fluffy brush. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I use a fluffy brush to apply Shadow Sense. I will go ahead and pick it up off the wand and then just kind of lightly brush wherever you want it to go. I like this technique if you're using it in the crease especially. We're in the home stretch, guys. Okay, we're going to go in with a mascara now and just apply it directly onto my eyelashes. I hope that this helped you guys out a little bit with some things. If you have any tips for how you apply like cream products, leave it down below so that I can maybe learn some new tricks or somebody else can read your comment. Okay, for lips, I've been obsessed with this one, and I've probably used it on here a few times now. It's the Wet n Wild Gel Lip Liner, and it is in the shade Bear to Comment. The color is just so pretty, especially for the spring. So I'm going to go ahead and line my lips with that. And then over that lip liner today, we're going to go ahead and use the new Senegence Lip Sense Pink Matte Lip Gloss. And I have been using this NYX Whipped, like it's like a blush like lip combo. You can use it for either your blush or your lips, and I like that. But I just got this today, so it's pretty excited when it came in the mail, and I think it'll look gorgeous over this Wet n Wild lip liner. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh. Alright guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. One of the sides here, I'm not sure which one, a video is going to pop up. Go ahead and click on that video so you can watch more. And I will see you guys in my next one.